Many people have heard about the Amero, the proposed currency for the North American Union, this plan by the Council on Foreign Relations and the Illuminati to merge Canada, United States, and Mexico into one country and then merge the currency. Well, of course, once the dollar hyperinflates and becomes worthless, they're going to need to do something to issue a new currency. So the discussion has been around of the Amero for many, many years, and elite organizations like the Council on Foreign Relations have been promoting it. But leave it to an FBI COINTELPRO asset, a literal, confirmed, admitted FBI agent provocateur. Not really an agent, but an asset. Hal Turner, who's now in jail for making threats to people. But back in 2008, this buffoon released a video on YouTube that got hundreds of thousands of views at the time, of what he said was a real Amero coin that one of his government insiders decided to leak to him. And he showed the coin and it got like 400,000 views.
The United States government shipped 800 billion Ameros to the China Development Bank in preparation for the collapse of the United States dollar as a currency. A lot of people around the world visited my blog. Many were astonished that this claim was being made, and a lot of people thought it was a hoax. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't a hoax. I have one of the Ameros from that shipment. This is an Amero.
But the problem was that this was a fake coin, a replica coin, that you could buy on numerous websites. DC-coin, used to be a website, Amero Currency, eBay. All of these sites were selling these replica coins. But leave it to an FBI agent provocateur to spread some disinformation about it with the purpose of poisoning the well or muddying the water. I think the purpose of Hal Turner's disinformation was to disarm people so that when they would find out inevitably that this was a hoax video, that anytime anybody heard any talk about the proposed Amero currency, that people would dismiss it as a hoax. But this clown's lies didn't stop with the coin, because months later he would post on his website that he discovered paper Amero currency, and that the dollar was going to be destroyed and it would soon be replaced with the Amero. The best misinformation has little bits and pieces of truth so that it seems believable. But upon further inspection, it becomes clear that it is not true. But most people don't have the time nor the desire to actually look into something or fact check something or verify a claim that they see. So Hal Turner's Amero hoax went viral for some period of time before many people started to realize that it was a hoax and that he was an admitted FBI COINTELPRO provocateur, whose goal and job it was to excite people into saying they were going to commit crimes or to excite them into committing crimes. Hal Turner was a white supremacist racist whose fan base consisted of largely white supremacists. So his job was to literally enrage them into action. And this came out in court documents after the FBI turned on him and burned him as an asset. What do they say about working with the mob? You could be killed by your best friend at any moment in time. The same is true of these pathetic FBI, COINTELPRO agents or informants, who can and will be burned and used and discarded when they're no longer needed. One of the major goals of the elite Illuminati New World Order controllers is a global currency. But the idea of the Amero got so much resistance that they seemed to have abandoned it for now. But as the United States dollar continues to decline and possibly hyperinflates to an oblivion and becomes nearly worthless, they're going to have to introduce a new currency or do something. And their course of action seems to be unifying different regions of the world into unions, introducing a currency for that union, and then at some point in the future, they will likely merge all of those currencies and those unions into one union, one currency, one new world order. then to ultimately be replaced by a digital currency, the mark of the beast.